Hey, what's up guys? Drone B here, and I've got an interesting video for you guys today. I am doing a monster farm test. I'm testing out all the monsters in the monster farm. We're going to see which one is best at taking out my trap account. For this, we're using my Luna, and my Luna, I'm not giving her any gear, and we're just doing warrior attacks today. So this is just testing warrior troops in the monster farm, really with no hero gear. And Luna. So I'm sending T4 in this first march just to get a baseline of what we're working with. I tried T5, but I did too much damage with the T5, so we're sticking with T4 in this one. Okay, so here is the first attack. No monsters. 2,523 troops survived, and 20,184 troops we were able to kill in this march. So yeah, we lost hard, but that's fine. This is just a test run to see how the monsters compare to this. So the first monster, we're testing out the cutest monster there is. It is the Chocobo, and the gray one's, the stone one's really cute. I like this monster. It's one of my favorites. So we're gonna do everything will be exact same except for we're sending. You know, the monster with the march this time. So the same amount of warriors, everything's the same. Oh, look at that cute thing go. Aw, I want a Chocobo pet, man. Give me one of those. Alright, so we'll see how much different it is. Chocobo is 88% attack buff, and you need monster farm level 1 for this. So in theory, the same amount of troops should die, and we should kill however many more 88% will get us. I guess we'll find out here in a second. I actually already know, and there's some interesting stuff in this video for sure. So there it is. Yeah, we lost the same amount of troops, but we killed 2,245 more. So that's quite a bit more, right? That's almost 10%. Yeah, about 10% more. So there you go. If you unlock the monster farm level 1, you can have access to similar results. Now, these are kind of situational. So yeah, a lot will depend on the situation. But all right, here's the Malboro. Malboro. However you pronounce it. You know, that monster-looking thing. Looks like it's from some cartoon, a scary cartoon when we were children. Yeah, that thing's pretty awesome looking. This you need monster farm level 3 for, and this is a 100% HP troop buff. So we should kill as many troops as we did in that first march. That's what I'm guessing, but we should have a lot more survive than the last march. So let's see what we end up with here. And the final tally. Yep, so we killed the same amount as the first march, as if we didn't have a monster, but 4,974 more troops survived. So if you compare this to the 88% Chocobo attack buff, actually we are closer to winning than the Chocobo with this monster. So interesting. That was quite a bit more survive. Now we're going to do the Dark Moon Yojimbo. Now this should help out quite a bit, right? Because we've got warrior marches. So this will buff the warriors' attack, armor, and HP 60, 60, 60. Let's see how that compares. I think you need monster farm level 5 for this thing. I think it might be 4, probably 5, probably 5. Yeah, let's see how it compares. So we have to remember, almost 5,000 troops with the Malboro, but we didn't kill any extra. So what percentage of our troops survived? 5,000 Actually, over 10% of our troops survived because of that monster. So in a way, you could say it's better than the Chocobo. Now, it's situational, right? Because there's times you're going to want more attack than HP, and there's times like if somebody has anti-scout, you're probably going to want to pop it. Use the Malboro because you don't know, he might have like 400k crazy mercs, and you don't want to risk your march. So in that case, I'd use the Malboro. But okay, here we go. So here's the Yojimbo. 5,674 survived, 21,714 killed, and the difference between no monster and the Yojimbo is 4,672 troops. So that many more we either survived in our march or killed in our march, and so that's actually not much better than I think I would go with the Malboro over that, or the Chocobo. Huh. Well, let's move on. Spidercorn. We got 50-50-50. This is just for City Assault, so you would think this would be pretty good for a march like this, for attacking an empire. But now, the Warrior was 60-60-60 Warrior buff. This is 50-50-50. So you would think it'd be lower, right? That's just my guess. That's certainly what I'm thinking, what I'm internalizing, right? It's gotta be worse. It's gotta be. How could it be better? That's a pretty cool looking monster too. It's kind of, I think these look the coolest with a rally too, because the rally kind of sits on their back. So the boat, it's like they're actually like hauling the boat on their back. It's pretty cool. I should have done rally attacks. It would have taken a lot longer, but it would have been cooler to watch. Let's be honest here. So the Spidercorn, bam. Now, let's see. Oh, interesting. Comparing that to the Yojimbo. It did better. It did better than the Yojimbo. More troops survived, and we killed slightly less, right? Now I forget, but it's pretty close. A little better. More troops survived and killed with that. Now I don't know how to make sense of that, guys. I guess City Assault must have an equation. It must, however they figure the troop kills and troop loss, City Assault must be in a different category in the equation, so I guess 50% buff on that actually does more than a 60% warrior buff. That's kind of runs counterintuitive to what you would think, right? Now this could be really situational. It might just be because things lined up perfectly in that way for this test. But for this test, the Spiracorn did better with all warriors. So certainly if we had mercs or a mixed troop, you'd want that Spiracorn because that's going to be quite a bit better than the Yojimbo. Yeah, this really surprised me, guys. I'm not 100% a believer. Like, I don't quite understand it. Can't make sense of it. So we'll move on. The Wyvern, this is a 100% attack, and you're going to need monster level 5 for this one. So figure it's only 12% more than the Chocobo, but you need so many Monster Farm levels. That's a lot of Monster Farm blueprints to get that additional 12% attack. So yeah, let's just see if it's worth it. My instinct tells me probably not, but okay, so we got 2,532 troops survive, which is what you'd expect, but it only killed 2,551 more. Could that be right? I think that's right. Very peculiar. Oh wait, hang on. I might have jumped the gun there. I might have jumped the gun a little bit. We had a glitch in the system. Let's play this out though. So I might have read out the stats before it actually hit. No worries. We're gonna watch it hit and read out the stats again. So So look at that, guys. Really not much better than the Chocobo. Kind of what you'd expect, but we certainly didn't kill enough more to make up for the amount of extra troops we lost, right? Like, you know, that compared to the Spiracorn, or that compared to the Malboro. I'm not convinced. I'm not a believer in the Wyvern. I'm not a believer. You know, maybe the Wyvern, you wouldn't use the Spiracorn for crystal. So maybe the Wyvern's better for the crystal, but only slightly better than the Chocobo. I mean, maybe not even enough to make the difference. Right? Alright, so we're moving on. Forget that one. I'm just kidding. It's still cool. Let's do the Tonberry. This is an armor penetration. So this one has a caveat. You're not going to want to use this one if you're attacking an Empire with Frost Guardians, because they have armor piercing prevention. They have, I guess their armor just can't be pierced. It's that solid. So, yeah, so in which case you wouldn't want to use the Tonberry. But for a lot of other situations, the Tonberry might be really good. Another caveat, if you have Prompto and he's already got crazy armor piercing, and you're attacking an Empire, they may not have enough armor for the Tonberry to like the full 200% to work. So there's some caveats. This is kind of a situational monster. Maybe you could use it on the Crystal if there's no Frost Guardians. Maybe you could use it on Empires if there's no Frost Guardians. And yeah, so let's see how it does. Let's see how the Tonberry, Tonberry, it's not Tonberry, it's Tonberry. Wow, so we killed quite a bit more with that. Look at that, almost 5,000 troops. I'm a believer in the Tonberry, guys. I am a believer in the Tonberry. That's probably the best monster. You need Monster Farm level 4 for it. And yeah, that surprised me. I mean, that was pretty good. Now, again, it's situational. If you already have Prompto with the armor piercing skill really high, this on top of it, it may not be quite as effective. But yeah, so the Tonberry, guys, it's the victor. It's the victor. And then the Spidercorn's close. Then also right next to the Spidercorn, kind of situational too. The Malboro's maybe just as good as the Spidercorn. You could even make the argument that that is better in a lot of situations than the Tonberry. Interesting. Interesting. You see the numbers, you guys can decide. Also, I did some other tests. I tried the Cryonade, and it was pretty similar to the Wyvern, but I didn't include it in the video because it is kind of my cavalry. I think what it is the warriors are a lot more buffed on this trap account, so it wasn't a very accurate comparison to the warrior marches. I need to make a separate video for that, but I would expect it to be a little better than the Wyvern if you're doing just cavalry marches. And then there's the Griffin. This Griffin's pretty cool looking. And we also have that the new monster, the Ronin, that buffs samurai troops. So certainly if you're doing big samurai marches, that's the one you want. The Griffin's awesome for crystal. It does 90% trap attack, trap attack, 90% troop attack buff, and then it also has a airship attack bonus. So you know that's pretty good. That's going to be awesome in a crystal, or attacking the crystal. So yeah, there you have it, guys. That is my Monster Farm Showdown. If I had to rank them, I'd say the Tonberry right up at the top. Then the Malboro. Spidercorn's right there. Wyvern's interesting. And Chocobo, for level 1, it was pretty good for level 1. You can get that building unlock and get the the level 1, and you could probably do just as well with the Chocobo in most situations. And it's cool because the attack bonus is nice because it's great for RVRs. It's great for zeroing Magitech Empires fast. It's got all kinds of purposes. So there you have it, guys. Yeah, I'm working on some more videos, and I really want to get to the bottom of how the troop kills and troop losses are calculated. And I've talked to some people about the equations, but nobody's been able, either they haven't figured out right, or I'm too dumb to understand what they're trying to show me. So I need to work on that, try to get to the bottom. If anybody has an idea and wants to share it, I'd be curious to hear what you think about, how it's calculated. And if you know all the stats for the hero, and like the buffs and troop buffs and everything, and the exact amount of troops, and you know that for your opponent, can you calculate it? Like, do you have it down to that much of a science? Because the more I play, the more I think it's all just so situational. Like, there's no... I mean, I'm sure there is some algorithm or equation, but it doesn't... It's not self-evident. It's not obvious on how it works. Like, attack isn't always better than HP. Armor isn't always better than like a lot of people say you need 3 times as much armor to equal like say you have 100 HP, you need 300 armor to be equivalent. But even that, every time I try to test it, I get different results. So it's so situational. It must depend on how many troops you have, how many troops your opponents have, all your other buffs, all your other stats. So many factors. And another thing I'll say, and this will be in that video whenever I figure all that out too, but the situation, if you have tons of the destroyers that have like some, whatever it is, T10 or 11 or 12 attack, whatever it is, naturally, if you have an attack boost with that, that's going to be really awesome. And then if, on the other end of the spectrum, if you have a march with a ton of guardians, like say like 10 or 20% of your march is guardians, you could see the HP boost being a little better, because guardians, like if you have the T7 defense ones, every 100% is 100% of T7, so that's going to be a really big amount. Whereas if you only have T4 troops behind the guardians, you're only attack buffing, the T4. So that's going to be a much smaller amount than how much HP you'd get with an HP boost. So there's so many situations. It's almost entirely dependent on where you're at and who you're attacking, and you kind of have to think it out, think ahead before each attack if you want to be, if you want to optimize your attack, if you want to be as efficient as possible. So yeah, hope this was interesting to you guys. It certainly was interesting to me. I never would have thought the Spidercorn would have been better than the Yojimbo with all warriors. I don't know, guys. I truly don't know. But yeah, cool. So there it is, guys. Drone B.